Hey everyone, and welcome to another light novel review. I'm still only doing first volumes for the time being, but I fully intend to do sequel volumes as well. But if you'd like to hear more about a particular series, let me know down in the comments. So the last couple of reviews I've done involved series that had an anime adaptation, but nothing to show for it yet. Our last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World, written by Kei Suzane and illustrated by Ao Nekonabe, is a bit different. As of recording this video, a trailer has been released and the new season is about to start. While I know people are drawing parallels to Sword Art Online due to general character designs and colours, our last Crusade actually has a lot more in common with Romeo and Juliet. Basically, in this fictional world, humanity is split between two main races: the magic-wielding sorcerers of the nebulous sovereignty, and the powerless but technologically savvy empire. The story is also split between two characters hailing from either side. There's Alice, an incredibly powerful sorceress with command over ice, who has a difficult-to-pronounce name and royal title, so I'm not even going to try. And then there's Iska, an incredibly talented warrior who wields special weapons that render magic attacks useless if used correctly. The sovereignty and empire are constantly at war with each other, each vying for the subjugation or total elimination of the other. It is a little more complicated than good or evil, and each side clearly has hidden agendas. Alice sees things a little differently to others, and while she dislikes the Empire, her main motivation is stopping unnecessary bloodshed and brokering peace. Iska shares a similar mindset, however he is unable to simply change sides or stop fighting because of some past complications. I said this was very Romeo and Juliet, and that's because of the dual protagonist writing style and the two factions at war with one another. Romance does play a role too, but the characters seem oblivious to it as many stereotypical rom-com tropes and situations play out. Cue accidental meetings in non-violent situations. At times, Last Crusade is an intense fantasy action series, at others it's a political drama, and more often than not it's a rom-com with two rather dense protagonists. It's a big melting pot of genres that, while very entertaining, isn't really groundbreaking in any way, but that's okay. It's very clearly building to something, and while it ends up being very predictable, it's also a lot of fun. It very briefly touches on concepts like race or cultural divide, but that takes a backseat to the immediate narrative and seems like it'll be explored in further volumes. For the most part, I felt like I could just switch off for a bit and enjoy the ride, which ended up being quite refreshing after the denser and more complicated narrative of 86 and Grimgar. The illustrations are nice and generally serve as a bit of fan service more often than not. That being said, half the reason I picked this up was because I liked the cover and its vibrant colours, and, let's face it, a rather self-indulgent title that is either a great summary of either side of the conflict, or general confusion and an inability to decide on just one title. Either way, it caught my attention and here I am. Back to illustrations. The art style tends to be very sharp and clean, without any confusion of who's who, like I tend to find with some illustrators. Like I mentioned, the colour is very vibrant, and Alice's hair and skin colour seem a little muted, which actually makes her stand out a little more against all the swirling colours. Most other illustrations are the kind most common in introductory light novels. There's the general group shot that they show right at the beginning, and general introduction pages as new characters come into play. It's nothing new, and it's pretty much the standard for stories with a lot of characters and names to keep track of. And that sums it up rather well. The novel as a whole is quite standard. It's a good standard, but still very much is something you've probably seen somewhere before. Like I said earlier, that's fine by me as I could just switch off and be entertained. At least as far as the first novel is concerned, as I have no doubt that things get more serious and complicated further down the line. So if anything I just said appeals to you, then Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World may be worth checking out. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below. Until next time, bye!